I think post-Sheraton, we've learned many things, and we need to admit we've made mistakes which should never be repeated again. And I believe that it is timely for us to set up a platform, movement, and potentially a party which will serve the interests of all Malaysians, but led by young people, young corporates, professionals, academicians, technocrats, who will end up defining Malaysia's future, especially after more than 60 years of independence. And it's timely for us to ensure that the platform is truly multiracial, multi-religious, captures the heart of Malaysia, which is at the center, and being policy-driven and youth-led. I think in a way it's time for us to give more opportunities for young people to lead and for all parties to revitalize their power structures. We don't want the same structures of governance in respective parties being held by the same leaders. And it's also about opening up greater doors and opportunities for those who have never been interested in politics. And that's truly the center of Malaysia. The technocrats, professionals, academicians who have always stayed away from politics, but now, especially post-Sheraton, we're seeing a greater need for them to partake in that history change-making process. So when you look at setting up a new movement, platform and party, we need to ensure that it's not just the same faces, the same people, with the same ideologies. But now it's time for us to bring in a diverse bunch of young technocrats, professionals, academicians who truly represent the interests of the multiracial and multi-religious Malaysia. I think once you capture those groups, I think that's when policies become a lot more fine-tuned. You're looking at a world in which diversity is regarded as a positive value and never treated as a liability. But most importantly, young people are very passionate to ensure that their future in which they will inherit will be a future which is for all. So all of this, when it comes to structures, this will be defined not by me, but by the group of young leaders. I want to ensure it is as democratic as possible, to ensure that in the end all views are taken into account. But at the moment, we have many great young faces who have taken the leap of faith to join politics despite it being filled with toxicity and definitely a huge pay cut. For example, people like Jalil Rashid, who was at the head, was on top of PNP, even when he came back from Singapore, leading his own private equity firm, taking a huge pay cut to then lead PNB, and now deciding to take the leap to join to politics to reform, especially the corporate side of things, and to ensure that his ideas can be translated into national policies. I think that's just one of the many, many examples. So there's a huge leap, right? And you look at the 5 members who have won international awards, 5 CEOs under the Forbes 30 under 30, recognized internationally, but now also partaking in this historic change-making process. These are people like Vinesh, who set up his own company despite being a dropout, but successfully building his own empire, leading to environmental changes and reforms, turning wastages into actual energy to be used by Malaysians, and now hiring many young people. So, and there are many success stories like this, like Nadir, the founder of the Lorry, also under Forbes 30 under 30, who even Singaporean companies, and Temasek is trying to poach, but decided to anchor itself in Malaysia to provide jobs and opportunities for all Malaysians. We also have those who have served communities for decades, who really have been on the ground for a very long time. People like Talib, who's now the CEO of Kota Buku, but who started at a pasar malam. He started from the bottom, but then proved himself. When a young person is given the opportunity, no matter how difficult of a family background you come from, or even if you start from pasar malam, you can still build your reputation up. The unique fact of things is, the fact that they've decided to endorse and join this political movement indicates that it's timely for us to create a strong, democratic, multiracial, multi-religious youth tsunami to impact public policy and politics in the most meaningful way possible. Some are interested to run for public office. Some are interested to ensure that they become party leaders, but not necessarily candidates. If you look in the United States and many other countries, those party leaders are not necessarily those who are interested to run. And some merely to lend their name, support, and also their views and ideas to build up the policy platforms for the party. But in a way, we want to ensure that the movement, party, can disrupt Malaysian politics and public policy once and for all, and to ensure that young people have a place in determining Malaysia's future.